So how do you build an a forever income producing machine? That's what we're talking with Howard Taker of YLOPO, the CEO, president, and founder of YLOPO, Howard Taker. Most of you know who this guy is already. If you don't, you should. He is the man, the myth, the legend that not only has been the CEO of three major technology corporations in real estate, and namely most recently Tiger Lead Solutions and now YLOPO. He's considered by many to be one of the leading authorities on kind of what's going on, what's happening, what's changing in real estate, and how do we need to change with it to stay on top. He's going to be one of our speakers at the Marketing and Technology Marketing Technology Summit in July here, coming up in just a few weeks, actually, just under 3 weeks, I believe. Howard's going to be talking about building a relationship database that really can become a forever income generating machine for you. So for those of you that haven't already, go to marketingandtechnologysummit.com, marketingandtechnologysummit.com. Get your ticket to that event. It's online, so you don't even have to get on a plane. You don't have to wear a mask. You can just stay right at home, do your thing, sip on whatever it is you sip on while you work at your computer, and you can enjoy some of the best speakers on the planet, some of the smartest minds in real estate and marketing and technology today. And Howard is one of those. So before Howard gets started here, I just want to share with you guys, again, it's marketingandtechnologysummit.com, and a quick shout out to our sponsor, WiseHire. Pretty much all of us at Club Wealth. I mean, there's I'm sure a few people at Club Wealth that aren't using WiseHire, but holy cow, these guys do a great job recruiting for us. They help us feed that front end of our recruiting funnel. To get the discount that we get with those guys, go to WiseHire. So it's clubwealth.com/WiseHire. That's WIZEHIRE, clubwealth.com/WiseHire. So Howard Tager, CEO of YLOPO, tell us, how do we build a forever income generating machine? Tell us about that.
So yeah, as a precursor to that, one of the sort of important events in my business life, right, in my economic life, was when I discovered the power of passive income. And so this goes back to like 2010, right? And some buddies of mine were like, hey, we're investing in this apartment complex, and there's this guy, and he's manages like tons of apartments. And I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't know who this guy is, and could be another Bernie Madoff, and it looks too good to be true. It was producing, above 15% cash on cash tax efficient returns, and all I had to do was write a check and receive checks. I didn't do anything else, and I was used to I only made income if I worked really, really hard. Like, how is this possible? So the minimum investment was $50,000. And I just said, I'm not up for it, guys. Like, here's what we're going to do. If you really want to do this, we'll create a little LLC for the three of us. And I'll write a $16,667 check, and I'm not going to write a $50,000 check, right? And we did it, and I never thought I'd see the money again. And all of a sudden, every quarter, it was Christmas. Every single quarter was Christmas. I'm like, oh, okay. And then he had another, deal, another 200 apartment complex. I'm like, okay. And we did another one. And then we did another one. And I said, you know what? We're not going to spend any of the money that comes out of it. We're not going to spend, we're just going to leave it in there. And when another deal comes, we might already have the funds to go into another deal. And so, I started with a $16,667 investment in early 2010. And I won't give you the number, okay, but it is
now you're killing me, man. I'm dying to know the number now. Oh my gosh.
So with my little group of guys, right, it's an 8-figure number.
Nice.
So, okay, but if I get hit by a bus, I hope I don't, but if I get hit by a bus, my kids, right, have something. My family has something. And if, I were to have a business calamity, whatever, like, I've built something that is beyond my active working hours. And this is a really, really important lesson. And so, look, we work with, over 15,000 agents. We've got 1,600 teams on the program now. And the number one lesson for all these teams, and it's huge for them, is what can you build if, whether you're one person, 3 people, 30 people, 300 people, because we've got people from 1 to 600 agents, right, on a single team, is build something that lasts. So you're not always worried about chasing commission checks with your own energy, right? And that thing that you can build is your database. And, Michael, I never say database of leads. I say database of relationships, because we have to think about, leads dehumanizes what this person is, right? This person's a human being, and we are developing a relationship forever. And the difference is, back in the old days, right, in the old top producer CRM, it was like this relationship where they knew my name and my brand and my dog and my brownie recipe. And that doesn't really work. Okay, it works a little bit, but what we really care about is that whenever a seller is first starting to think about potentially moving, we want to have a signal, right? That's automatic, because we're not going to know on our own. It's got to automatically come to us. And whenever a buyer is thinking about buying, right, we've got to get a signal that comes to us. And that's where the game has changed, because we now have technology that automates all of this. It automates all of these signals, right? We know when a seller starts interacting for the first time with a home valuation tool, right? We know when somebody goes online to start searching, well, 50%, 60% of the time, they already own a home that they're going to need to sell. You're getting a first connection with a seller. Everyone calls them buyer leads. There's no such thing, right? This is a person who is going to buy and is going to sell, right? So we now have this technology to see this. We didn't have that 10 years ago. So what you need to do is just build this database of relationships as big as possible. And the way to think about it is a fraction that is a constant. It never changes. So let's say for a super hot lead, someone that is triggering, I'm a seller or I'm a buyer, let's say that's 1/8. Okay, so 1 out of every 8 relationships you have in your database is hot right now. And you don't know who it is, they have to signal it to you, and we have the tech to find that. Well, if you have 8 leads in your database, you've got 1 potential person you can talk to. And if you have 80, you've got 10. And you have 800, you have 100. And if you have 8,000, you have 1,000. And if you have 80,000, you have 10,000, right? So think about that. You've got 80,000 relationships in your database. You've got 10,000 people a month who are frantically searching, who are frantically engaging with home valuation stuff, right? We know that you can convert 1/3 minimum. This is worst case scenario, right? 1/3 of 1% of your database per month in the bank. So just write that down, do the math, right? And do the math over having, now here's the question. If you see the math, which we're going to show in the webinar, if you see the math and we take the most conservative assumptions, right, about median home price and, and gross commission percentage and, and all of this stuff, right? You're going to see that it's really true. So now you're convinced, but now how do you get there? Okay. So we have to go over what are all the paid ways and all the non-paid ways. What are the free ways to get more relationships into your system? And what are the paid ways? Because that accelerates it. What are inefficient ways, too costly to build that database quickly? What are the efficient ways, right? And then it's all about goal setting. It's not going to happen overnight. It's a 5-year plan, let's say, right? In 5 years, where do you want to be? And even if you only got to 25,000 leads or relationships in your database, it becomes a forever income producing machine. You can stop worrying. You can stop chasing commission checks, right? You can live literally off that database if you were to get sick. So it's kind of been a game changer, this concept for people when they see it, but I had to prove it mathematically first, then show the technology, what we're doing. And the way to think about this is we have the tech now where you as a team leader can beat the multi-billion-dollar portals and publicly traded companies at their own game. You literally can. We can give you guys that tech. Others can give you this. This is not like a YLOPO. Honestly, if you don't use YLOPO, that's fine. As long as you understand this concept and you're using other vendors or suppliers, that's great. But you've got to understand this concept. This is not about pitching us. This is about teaching something, which goes back to me understanding the power of my apartment building passive investing.
Well, and first of all, I I love the way you've drawn that that analogy, if you will, between the apartment complex and between, you know, kind of what you've got now with the relationship, the database of relationships, right? That said, I want to just kind of jump back for a second, because I'm really passionate about real estate investing. I'm a real believer that if you really want to build wealth in America today, the number one thing you can do is invest in real estate. You know, it's historically been the best investment ever. And it consistently outproduces any other investment out there over the long haul. What I would suggest is that everybody watching this should become their own best client. And at some point in time, you guys, if you're not doing so already, you need to start buying at least one rental property per year, then make it one rental property per quarter, then make it one rental property per month, then start going from single family into multifamily or into commercial or something else that's, you know, so you're going from those smaller deals to the bigger deals. That's how you guys can really kind of leverage what you do and what you know. It pains me when I see real estate agents playing the stock market. Yeah, I think to myself, why in the world would I invest in somebody else's business when I can invest in my own? And
well, Michael, I'm totally geek out on this, and I think I think you and I should do like a whole webinar just on this, because there's a spectrum from completely 100% passive, which is I write a check, there's another syndicator, there's a general partner who's running the whole deal. I don't do anything, so there's no time. I write a check, and then I receive checks. That's 100% passive. I'm interested in that because I'm already working 25-hour days, right? Running YLOPO. So I don't have time to do anything. And then all the way on the other end of the spectrum, what I love about this, Michael, is we're going totally off topic, but
it's good stuff. I agree.
On the other side of the end is where you're actually buying the properties, fixing them up, you're renting them yourself, right? And you're maybe managing themselves, right? Now you can go in the middle too, and maybe you've got a property management firm, right? There's lots of other variations on this, which are a hybrid between passive and active. And you've got to do the calculation of time, right? Because time is a finite commodity. But one of my sort of commandments is, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. And I can't tell you, I see so many private placement memorandums, so many investment opportunities, and there was like, oh, here's our rate of return, here's our IRR, and they're just boom, 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 boom. But no one's coming out and saying, well, here's what you make after taxes. Here's your after-tax equivalent yield, right? And that's why real estate is the number one investment tool in America, because you get to depreciate on your tax returns, right? And on the investment itself, you get to depreciate an appreciating asset. So over time, over 10 years, 20 years, whatever, this asset just keeps going up, but you're getting to actually write off all the depreciation. That's one of the many reasons that we can go on and on, right? So we're always looking at that. And when you factor in the tax component, and you factor in, what you get to keep versus what you make, I totally agree with you. It blows away everything else.
I'm curious, how many people watching this right now own at least one rental property? Type it into your chat there. Type it into the comments in Facebook. Yeah, do you own at least one? If you own more than one, tell us how many rentals do you own now? Are they real? Are they residential? Are they commercial? But we talk about when I think that there's two conversations that have to go hand in hand here. We're talking about active and passive income, right? So if I look at Ray Kroc, McDonald's, right? How did McDonald's really make their money, right? How did Ray Kroc make his fortune? Well, it wasn't flipping burgers, although I bet that everybody watching this makes, oh, look at all these people, Mike Bjorkman's jumping in there. He's like, yeah, I got 12 residential properties. Armin's got one. Like, type it in there.
Funny. I almost brought up Mike when I talked about, I should have said his name. I was meant to. Hey, Mike.
That's funny.
Because he's awesome at it, and he's a wizard, and he's got the property management. He's killing it.
Well, and that's where I'm going with this is, I want people to really understand that, listen, you guys, your business, that's what gives you the ability to invest in real estate. That's what funds the investing in real estate, right? Your day-to-day business of selling real estate gives you the income so that you can now take a portion of that income and go reinvest it into real estate and really start to get leverage in terms of passive income. Now, when you get really smart about it and you really want to go crazy with it, what a lot of folks will do is they'll also bring in property management. They'll own the property management company. Right. So now not only do you have somebody else that works for you full time that's managing your stuff, but you're getting paid to manage other people's stuff as well, which does a lot for your real estate sales business, because all of a sudden now you've created a lead generation source that's paying you instead of you paying for those leads. It's fantastic, and it really starts to feed on itself. We've got a lot of clients that are doing this right now. Now, let's back up. Let's talk about, how do we build this forever income generating machine? And Howard really nailed it. It comes down to relationships. We were talking about Robert Slack here before we got started today. Robert, for those of you that don't know, runs the #1 team in the country right now in terms of size. He's got, I think he said last I talked to him, he's like 450 agents. I think he'll spend about $12 million on Realtor.com leads this year, which will soon be changing, of course, as Realtor.com changes their model and goes to a referral fee model. But Robert's got a number in mind, and I think you said that number was like 2 million or something like that, or
database of 2 million relationships.
Yeah. So you think about that. When you've got 2 million, and you can call them leads, call them relationships, call them whatever you want. When you've got 2 million people in a database that you are not only have access to, but you are consistently and effectively nurturing over a long period of time, at some point in time, you don't need more leads, right? At some point in time, you don't need more purchased relationships, I'll say, because you can now use that database. If you're marketing to it effectively, if you're nurturing it effectively, it will grow on its own and all of a sudden spin off more than enough business. In fact, I think you said that right now, Howard, his fall through right now, I think you said he's got 1,200 leads a month that he can't even schedule showing.
No, those are like, they went back and looked, they had 1,200 showing requests they didn't even respond to.
Oh, that they didn't respond to. There you go.
Well, because they're so busy. But he basically had this really big database prior to meeting us, and the database was just sitting there. There was nothing happening. He was just buying new leads, buying new leads, buying new leads. He was forever on that treadmill buying new leads. Mm-hmm. And then he got introduced to us. He came to us skeptical like everybody else, right? And we just like, don't buy any leads from us. Like, just give us 10,000 leads at a clip, 10,000. We're going to put it into the nurture machine. And all of a sudden they were like, oh my God, like the priority alerts of people that were going crazy and who were making showing requests and who were sending homes to their significant others and who were looking at one property 5 times, or like just nuts, right? And so, and they, of course, like everyone else, they really want sellers, right? So they're going nuts with our seller lead nurture as well, right? And they're just getting so many priority signals for buyers and for sellers. And he had this giant thing. He had spent millions of dollars on it that was sitting dormant. And now all of a sudden it's producing income when it wasn't before. And that was the light bulb for him, right? And so what we can do as a community is like, are we going to beat the portals at their own game? Like, they're spending $500 million a year in marketing. No, we're not going to beat them at that, right? But where are we going to beat them? We're going to fish upstream. We're going to fish upstream from them so they never go into their pond. We put them into our pond every single day, put them in our pond, because we now have the most effective nurture technology, namely dynamic remarketing, namely AI text communication. That's on point. It's not just irrelevant stuff. It's like on point to what we know they are interested in. It's not talking about $1 million home when someone has a $200,000 budget. It's not talking about a $200,000 home, right, in some other town when we know that they're at a $500,000 budget in this town, right? Really on point, delivering value, constantly bringing them back. When they're not ready, it's a light touch. They're not ready. When they're ready, our clients will know about it. So you just want to keep building this database. And like I said, you're getting all these relationships out of the stream because the big guys they're really just worried about the here and now. Like, new lead, speed to lead, right? They want to get that referral fee, right? From you. And we don't, we just don't believe in that. We don't believe in putting our hands in our clients' pockets, right? It's like, here's the cost. It's very predictable. You can grow as you grow your team. And I know, Michael, you guys are all about how to help folks grow their team and recruit, right? And that's critical, is you got to do it in lockstep. We have so many clients who are like, Howard, stop for a second. We got to, like, clients who came to me and said, like, we need to, like Matt Curtis. I love Matt Curtis, right? He's in Alabama and doing 1,000 transactions, right? He's like, I got to go to 2,000 transactions, right? But here's the thing, I need way more leads. I'm like, all right. We turned it on. He was like, wait, hold on. I don't have the team to do what you're delivering. And that's where you guys come in and help him, right? Help him grow that team.
It's interesting you say that. I tell people this all the time. They never believe me until they experience it firsthand. But as soon as you get to about tier 3, right? Tier 3 is, where you're doing 75 to 150 transactions a year. By the time you get to tier 3, leads are easy, right? It becomes very easy not only to generate leads, but to nurture those leads. The bottleneck becomes the team. The place that you end up with the biggest challenge is, can I recruit the right talent fast enough, and can I retain them for long enough to really grow an extraordinary business, a world-class business? And so as you learn how to do all of these things in tandem, all of a sudden now you can build an organization. I mean, people just, they won't even believe how fast you're able to grow. And when we talk about quick, fast growth, that doesn't mean that you've given up service either. You can deliver world-class service. In fact, it's easier to deliver world-class service with a large organization than it is a smaller organization. People don't realize that. But the larger my organization is, the more specialized help I can have. Like right now, you can go into the Club Wealth help desk, and we've got somebody there during normal business hours. There's always somebody there on Zoom, sitting there waiting for you to show up and just to serve you and help you. We couldn't do that when there was 3 of us in the company, right? That wasn't possible. But now that's possible. And I know, Howard, for your business as well, at YLOPO and other businesses you've run, the same thing happens. As you scale, you can really dial in that customer service, which again helps you grow even faster. Now we're out of time, so I don't want to go deeper on this now. But what I do want to tell you guys is, you need to get signed up for Marketing Technology Summit. You go to marketingandtechnologysummit.com. Howard's going to be speaking there. You need to listen to what he has to say. It's fantastic. He's going to deliver a great presentation that you're going to learn a ton from. You're going to get a ton of great actionable takeaways, as well as the other 40 plus speakers we've got speaking during the 2 days of this summit. It is going to be off the charts. I'm telling you, you got to be there. And it's, if you've never been to one of our live events, I think a lot of you have been to our live events, and I think anybody that's been to one of our live events goes to them again, and would agree that there's not an event like ours in the country. That being said, right now we're doing them online, and we're kind of in a position where we have to. But this last one we just did our first big online event, was Listing Agent Bootcamp, and it was phenomenal. We got the response we got from both vendors and from our clients that attended was off the charts. In Marketing Technology, percent focused on marketing and on technology. And so we've got people like Howard Tager coming out to speak with us and share their wisdom with us, and you need to take advantage of that. So marketingandtechnologysummit.com. Howard, anything to add before we wrap up today?
No, just a big thank you. We've had a great working relationship from the get-go. We believe in Club Wealth. We believe in the coaches. I think we work with almost every top level coach, at Club Wealth. Club Wealth's been nothing but great to us. We really support, we think it's just an amazing, amazing community. So thank you for letting us be involved. And like I said, this is not about, trying to convince anyone to come to us. This is just about, if someone walks away and says, I get it, and then 5 years from now, they write me a note or write you a note and say, you know what, that actually changed my business life, and now I'm at this promised land. That's what it's all about.
I agree 100%. And by the way, you don't have to sell your business, because I'll do it for you. I'll tell you guys right now, if you're not using YLOPO, you need to be. It's great technology. It'll really transform your business. It'll help you make that transition from chasing business to attracting business, which we all know is so important. And it's one of the key turning points in your career that will allow you to scale up and not only make a ton of more money, but also have a life in the process. And you'll be helping out the agents on your team as well. So that being said, Howard, thank you so much. Looking forward to hearing what you're going to be sharing with us at Marketing Technology. And I'm sure we'll be chatting soon.